What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Broom's favorite nerd, and today we are sweeps. Forget about it. Today we're looking at the Iron Factory Void Legion. This is, of course, on loan to me from Robert D. It's interesting looking at a recent release from all the three big Legends companies, kind of back to back, because it does give you a little bit of an interesting perspective on it all. But doesn't change the fact that we have one to look at. I'm anxious to look at it. There's a lot of accessories. There's a lot to talk about. So no sense in wasting any time. Let's go ahead and get started, and you know where we'll start. Accessories. So we have three different head options, and they're kind of vastly different, right? This one has like the wings on the head, this one has the masked face, and then this one is sort of just a completely kind of no mustache and stuff, but kind of a weird thing going on with the expression-wise on his mouth too. All of them are unique, so it's interesting in kind of building an army of them. They all have silver paint for the face and then red paint for the eyes. Interesting enough, and at least you could kind of customize your sweeps a bit if you were going to get a bunch of them. I have to admit that is kind of cool under the pretense of that. You also get three different types of shoulder pads. You get this one that kind of has the more sort of like, I don't know, boat-ish look. You have this one that's a little bit more squared off, has a little bit more kind of the inspiration from the helmet, perhaps incorporated into the shoulder pad, and then this one that kind of has the thrusters on the side. So it's cool that you can kind of mix and match all this stuff and come up with some interesting looks for characters that a lot of people army build. He comes with swap out hands. You get two closed holding hands left and right, two open hand holding hands left and right, two posing hands. That's in addition to the two fist hands that you saw in the opening footage. He comes with a sickle, which is painted black plastic with this purple metallic piece, and that can be angled kind of up and down as you so desire. And he'll hold that just fine with the open holding hand. He also comes with a gun, red paint on the tip of the barrel, otherwise just sculpt work, but decent enough. And he can hold that in his closed holding hand. The gun can go here at the top of vehicle mode. He also comes with an array of these black pieces and translucent pieces. And basically you can use these in any way your little imagination can come up with to come up with all sorts of weapons. So you could have like kind of a clawed weapon, or like an energy bow, or something as simple as a knife. It's kind of like whatever your kind of imagination can come up with. You can also take the bit from your sickle or scythe or whatever it's called, I don't know, what am I, guns and ammo, and put this in there and have this with this peg, which can tab into his forearm, and the rest of the weapons he can hold in his closed holding hand. The knives can also go here at the top of vehicle mode, but I haven't found any other way for the other kind of black adapter pieces to plug in. And he comes with a flight stand adapter, but no flight stand. And to me, that's probably a bit of a misstep. There's a lot more they could have probably shaved out of this set that I think is cool to include a flight stand, or just include the flight stand anyway. Honestly, like the mold's already there. Like, you can do it. I don't know. This seems almost insulting a bit, but I guess better to have it than not have it. But it does seem very incomplete. In alt mode, this will go right there to provide the thing to plug in. I tried to find a place in robot mode, but it has to go on the other side of it, and these are a little too tight, just stresses the plastic, so it doesn't really seem to work in robot mode. All right, let's take a look at the figure. So head sculpt, like the proper one, or the more traditional one, I guess I should say. Really well done. Silver on the face. Maybe that's the metallic, the gunmetal for the mustache and goatee. The same that's used in here, I can't tell. And then red metallic on the eyes. The head itself is on a ball peg. The ball peg is connected to this whole assembly here, which is on a hinge, so you can get up to there, down to there, swivel, confused Scourge look. All of that works tremendously. Zero issues whatsoever. For the shoulder joint, we have a hinge inside of the chest. That will get you a little bit of a range up and down if you should need it. Chances are you won't, but you never know. And then a ball peg, that'll get you out a little bit past 90 degrees. And then the swivel around, and we have the pink paint on there, and a little gunmetal with pink paint inside of there, and none of that was in focus, I apologize. Then we have the shoulder pad itself basically moves independently, and this piece can close down if you want that look. It's going to limit articulation a bit, but I don't think anything crazy. Then we have a bicep swivel. We have a single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees, and the wrists are on ball pegs, so you get the swivel and a little bit up, down, a little bit in, out, and the light blue paint added onto the blue, which does look good. Same for the other side. The waist is on a swivel, and we also have an ab crunch, which is nice, and then the gunmetal on the chest. We have the hip skirts. They'll get up and out of the way a bit for our T-jointed ball joints, which gets you the full Van Damme. And this butt skirt will get out of the way and pretty much get you the full Monty. It's a little shy in the front. I don't know if these move. I don't think they do. But pretty close. Is that focused? It's hard to see through this little viewfinder. Thigh swivel. Single hinged knee that gets you 90 degrees. And then we have some light blue paint. We have some silver and red there on the ankles. That all looks good. Ball pegs for ankles that also swivel, I believe. And using both, you get an ankle tilt up ever so slight, an ankle tilt down. I think a toe feels like you get a little bit of a toe tilt. Yeah, not really. And a little bit of a limited rocker, but you do get one. And then the wings. I wish you could open them up a bit more, but these pieces hit up against the backpack and kind of prevent it. So you're pretty much left to these two hinges, so you can get them back to about there and then wrap them around like a vampire, but that's about it, unfortunately. There it is from the back, which is pretty clean. There he is with our usual suspects, Iron Factory Blaster, the old scale, and our Combiner Wars Stunticon Legends from Hasbro. Give you an idea, pretty much on par. And there he is next to Iron Factory Tarn. So I think that that's probably about right, because I think he's very similar to what Galvatron should be, so I would guess that's right in the ballpark. Let's get him transformed. So spin the head around 180. Do the shoulder pads up like we talked about was an option. Collapse these on top of it. And then you can kind of, well, there's how the shoulder pads come off. I'll fix that in a second. Take both arms and have the hinge that's in the chest slightly up and collapse this kind of as close to the body as possible on both sides. Then on the back, you gotta undo this backpack, and it's really long pegs that go into this backpack. So as you're pulling it out, do your best to pull it as straight forward, like as straight far out as possible, and don't use leverage to kind of get it out, because those pegs are they're just very long. And then there's a double hinge here. Sit it down flush against his back, and then rotate the hinge that we talked about for the extra head articulation up towards it so that all three of those are in line. Then take your legs and rotate at the thighs out. You want to open up this part of it, bring that up and around, and then sit that back down on the outside of the calf. We're gonna do that on both sides and out on the back side of the calf, and then we're going to collapse these down. Now, and I just realized what this was that I thought I was pushing on. This is the little bit to the front of the foot that I should have had out the entire time. So forgive me. That's where it is if you like that look, but I had it tucked away and didn't realize it. So make sure that that's down. This foot has a heel that comes down 90 degrees that becomes the tab, which is pretty clever. This heel does not. So bring this down. That'll sit kind of over the hand, and then bring the down as well. Same on this side. We're going to bring that, oop, don't break on me, girl. Bring this down, tab these together, and then you can kind of tighten it up. Then the last thing we got to do is the wings. Put them flush up against the back, and then just wrap them around. And male, female, male, female. I mean, this is a pretty easy, straightforward transformation with little to no issues to report. So I'll get them cleaned up. We'll take a look at them. And there's alt mode. And I mean, it's kind of a little goofy proportionately, like, you know, and it ends up looking like the shield to like a proper size character. But I think it's cool enough and it's abstract enough. That's one of the kind of benefits of Iron Factory, is that it's not such a literal translation, that they have a little leeway so that when things look a little off, they can still look on. You know what I mean? It's like they luck out that way. But I mean, some of the details still come through, like the silver and red. That's one of those ones that benefits both modes. You know, it's not a whole lot to talk about here other than, you know, I guess you can still move his head a bit, you know, and aim this piece here. You know, it's a little itty bitty little unit, you know what I mean? So it kind of feels a little childish in a way, but I think it still ultimately works. And there it is next to Tiger Tracks. Like, it is a teeny itty bitty thing, you know, but doesn't mean it's bad. It's just different. Final thoughts wise, I'll talk about the negatives. The open hands that hold the sickle or scythe or whatever it is, it doesn't hold it great. It will hold it, but it doesn't hold it great. The tolerance is a little off. I also wish that you could get the wings back a bit more off of his shoulders, but once again, the sculpt of it doesn't allow for that. The lack of a flight stand seems like an oversight, and it seems a little painful to include the adapter and not the flight stand. It's like, no, we thought about it, we just don't want to give it to you. Buy another Seeker, I guess. But otherwise, I mean, that's kind of it. I wish I had a little bit more range on the ankle rocker, but that's really it. Positives wise, the transformation's fun, effortless, and there's no tolerance issues with it, unlike a lot of other Iron Factory releases, which is nice to see. It has tons of paint and deco on it. It comes with a ton of accessories and options for display if you were going to army build. The sculpt is sharp and looks appropriate for the line and for the brand. And I didn't talk about it, but I mean, just all that blue paint inside of the light blue wings. You know, they gave this figure a lot of love and a lot of attention, and it has all the kind of standard stuff that you expect with Iron Factory, along with good tolerances. So in spite of the list of shortcomings that I had to mention, it's still a very definite strong recommend from me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.